What's happening, my homies? I hope you're ready for that top-notch fantasy advice. And that's the real deal, yo. This is the best fantasy advice that you can find. There's also some other good fantasy advice. I'm not saying it's all bad, but this is as good as it gets. And I told you 2 weeks ago, this is week 4, 2 weeks ago, to pick up Lindsey when he was a free agent. I told you because I spotted it with my eyes. Okay, now I have to brag just a little bit because, you know, if I don't point attention to it, a lot of people won't see it. So Lindsey's now a starting running back. Now, the other guy I told you to get was Eckler, so hopefully you run out and get Eckler. Now, my next video after this is going to be wide receivers, and I've got a gem for you in there. So, subscribe, because I might not put it out today. I'm going to put it out today, but I mean, I pulled my hamstring the other day, so if my leg gets real sore, I'm just going to call it a day. But we'll see, so just subscribe anyway if you want to get the most elite fantasy advice delivered to your YouTube account. All right, now everything that's behind us, let's go ahead and talk about the matter at hand, which is Baker Mayfield or Fitzpatrick for fantasy. And here's the short answer. Both of them. They're both great. Now, a lot of people out there aren't sold on FITZMAGIC, and FITZMAGIC, I'm here to tell you, is real. Okay, there's a lot of dynamics that play into this, and it's not just who's a better player. Obviously, Baker Mayfield is a #1 overall pick, so he's going to be the more valuable asset in the real world. But we're talking fantasy here, and in fantasy, we're also taking into account the weapons and the defense. So FITZMAGIC is not going anywhere. The main reason is FITZMAGIC has incredible wide receivers. Even when he's off, those receivers will make up for it. They'll battle for one-on-one balls. His top wide receiver, Mike Evans, is an absolute freak of nature, and his tight end is a freak of nature, and they're being unleashed, and he's letting it fly, and that's not going to change. And what else is not going to change is their defense is bad. Okay, now they might pick up Lev Bell, who knows? But they're still not going to pick up Khalil Mack. Their defense is going to be bad all year long. And here's the interesting thing, as far as this weekend is concerned, it's really kind of a hard call, because FITZMAGIC is the #1 fantasy player in the NFL right now. It's pretty hard to bench that guy logically. However, going up the Bears defense, we saw what happened last week, and FITZMAGIC looked really bad in that first half. He got a lot of pressure put on him, and he threw a lot of turnovers. And here's the takeaway. The takeaway is that even if FITZMAGIC throws a pick 6 and another couple of interceptions and a fumble, he's still going to keep winging it. Okay? And so he's going to get his numbers. Even in a bad game, his fantasy stats are going to be great. That's why he's #1, because he has good games and he has bad games, but even his bad games are still good for fantasy. He still throws for 400 yards. He might throw for 6 touchdowns, 2 of them to the opposition and 4 for his team. That's still 4 touchdowns. So that's not going anywhere. And the other thing that's not going anywhere, okay, so we got his weapons. His defense is bad. He's got great weapons, a bad defense, and here's the third thing, he can't run the ball. Okay, so as long as they can't run the ball, they're going to have to throw the ball. And all of that is going to go to FITZMAGIC. And if you think they're going to bench FITZMAGIC for Jameis Winston, you've got another thing coming. Now, I know there's a lot of pressure on them because they got to find out what's going on with Winston, but they're not going to bench FITZMAGIC just because he has a bad game. That's too obvious. They'll give him a nice shot because that's what's fair, and everybody is watching. So they do want to see what Winston has, and it kind of sucks that they're not really able to, but they're going to ride FITZMAGIC as long as they can. And he's going to have a lot longer leash than just one bad game, I can tell you that. Even if he doesn't, that's the only thing that can take him out of this equation, is if he gets benched or if they want to play Jameis Winston. Besides that, there's no reason why he won't finish in the top 10, top 5, possibly the #1 guy, which he is right now. Probably not, but he's not going to go away. Now, on to Baker Mayfield. Now, Baker Mayfield is someone you want to pick up as well. The only thing that's different about him is they do have a good run game. Now, if they do a quick pace style, they're going to rack up a lot of scores. They're also going to feature Trubisky, which means they're going to run the offense through him. So no matter what, he's going to have a lot of fantasy relevance. Add that to he does run the ball. Add that to his wide receivers are Jarvis Landry and Antonio Callaway. And then he's got a great tight end in Njoku, who's mostly a freakishly great pass catcher. The stats are nearly impossible to not get. So he's going to be there. He's going to have a great year. The wide receivers are going to have a great year. So whichever one you can get one. And don't let them go. And the chances are they're not even there anymore. But just both of them are really is the answer. Now, Dalton, you know, he is for real. But he's not going to get you top 5. He can be great for a waiver stream, and if you're in a pinch, you had Garoppolo and your waiver's really slim, then sure, you got to go with him. But let's just talk about Rosen for a second. Now, a lot of people don't like him, but that doesn't matter. So let's just see what he has. You never know. He's got Larry Fitzgerald. He's got Christian Kirk, which there's a rapport there. He's got Ricky Seals-Jones, which is not a great tight end, but he's a great pass catcher. And then they've got David Johnson still. So with the new quarterback, he's looking around. He's very cocky, which is why a lot of people don't like him. He sees what Baker Mayfield did. He sees what Goff is doing. He sees what these guys are doing, and he wants to be there too. So I wouldn't be surprised if they've come up with their own bit of magic out there in Arizona. I'm not saying it's likely, but I'm just saying keep your eye on it, because there's life at the end of the tunnel if you have David Johnson or Larry Fitzgerald. Let's see what happens with Rosen. He's going to sling it, and let's just see. You know, I'm not that optimistic, but at least it's better than what they had before with Sam Bradford, so you got a shot. Allen, here's the thing about Josh Allen is once the book gets out on him, I doubt he's going to score a lot of points. If he keeps running touchdowns, he'll be very viable, but they've got no weapons out there in Buffalo, and so you know, I really just don't know. I wouldn't want to touch him. He doesn't look like an accurate passer. Probably going to throw a lot of turnovers, but I'll throw a lot of picks. And that's about it, man. That's all we're going to talk about on Trubisky. Just hang in there with Trubisky. Okay, it's a learning curve, and it's a type of thing where it looks like crap right now because he's just not that good. Okay, his long ball's not accurate, and he's not making quick decisions. But those things can be improved, and with an offensive-minded head coach who's they're married at the hip. You know, these two. So give him some time. Near the end of the year, he should be coming around. He's definitely got a low floor, but you know, if he starts throwing the ball, that's ultimately the way they want to be. So ultimately, they're grooming him to be a passing quarterback and to have that be a passing offense. So they're trying to score a lot of points. They want to score touchdowns, and so it's just a matter of time before they start figuring it out. And they have to only go as fast as Trubisky can take them. So I think he'll be better later. Okay, that's where I'm staying with Trubisky. And that's it. But yeah, go ahead and get either one of those guys, and then I'm going to do another video here about wide receivers. So hit me a like on the video if you liked it, and then subscribe. So all right, see ya.